Shabbat Shalom u'mevorach. Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom u'mevorach. Hine ma tov u'banayim, shevet achim gam yachad. Hine ma tov u'banayim, shevet achim gam yachad. Hine ma tov u'banayim, shevet achim gam yachad. Hallelujah, 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 hallelujah. Hine ma tov u'banayim, shevet achim gam yachad. Hine ma tov u'banayim, shevet achim gam yachad. Hine ma tov u'banayim, shevet achim gam yachad. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
I am Leslie Zucker, the music coordinator here at Congregation Beth Torah, and it's my pleasure to be leading tonight with Denton Williams and all the rest of our musicians and our technical team. Always a big thank you to the Bow Committee for bringing us beyond our walls. If you are interested in acting as a digital docent or learning how to run our streaming, please reach out to the office and we will put you in touch with the Bow Committee. We can always use more volunteers. For those of you in person, we are calling the page numbers in the brackets at the bottom of the page. And please make sure that your cell phones are on silent. God always calls. And we'll call back later. I'm going to invite you to join with me on page 121. As we read together, I invite Jill Jacob and Paul Fremmerman to come up in preparation for lighting the Shabbat candles. We read together at the top of the page. As these Shabbat candles give light to all who behold them, so may we by our lives give light to all who behold us. As their brightness reminds us of the generations of Israel who have kindled light, so may we in our own day be among those who kindle light.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kirshanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu lehadlik ner, shel Shabbat.
Thank you. We join together on page 124. May the door of this synagogue be wide enough to receive all who hunger for love, all who are lonely for friendship. May it welcome all who have cares to unburden, thanks to express, hopes to nurture. May the door of this synagogue be narrow enough to shut out pettiness and pride, envy and enmity. May its threshold be no stumbling block to young or straying feet. May it be too high to admit complacency, selfishness, and harshness. May this synagogue be, for all who enter, the doorway to a richer and more meaningful life. We sing a song of praise that says, "Go forth singing songs of joy to the eternal," the Chunaranana on page 130.
Lechu neranena, lechu neranena, lechu neranena l'Adonai. Lechu neranena, lechu neranena, lechu neranena l'Adonai. Naria, naria, letzoi sheinu, nekana vana betota. Naria, naria, letzoi sheinu, bizvirot naria lo. Lechu neranena, lechu neranena, lechu neranena l'Adonai. Lechu neranena, lechu neranena, lechu neranena l'Adonai.
We welcome the Shabbat bride with Lecha Dodi on page 138.
Lecha Dodi likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat nekavela. Lecha Dodi likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat nekavela. Lecha Dodi likrat kala, b'nei odi likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat nekabela.
Shamor v'zachur b'dibur echad, Ishmi'anu el ha'miuchad, Adonai echad, u'shemo echad, l'shem el tiferet v'litila.
Lecha dodi likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha dodi likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Likrat Shabbat lechu v'nelcha, ki hi mekor haveracha, Adonai echad u'shemo echad, sof ma'aseh v'masefat tefila. Lecha dodi likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha dodi likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat nekabela.
Hitoreri, ki va'orechu mi'ori, uri, shudameri, kevod Adonai ala yichtigla.
Lecha dodi likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha dodi likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Bo'ir v'shalom ha'teretz ba'ala, gam b'simcha u'b'tzolam, toch emonei ahom segula. Bo'ichala, bo'ichala. Lecha dodi likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha dodi likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat nekabela.
Page 145 at the bottom. Entrances to holiness are everywhere. The possibility of ascent is all the time. Even at unlikely times and through unlikely places, there is no place on earth without the presence.
Yai dai dai dai,
Dai, dai, dai, dai.
yai dai 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 dai,
Dai, dai, dai, dai, dai.
yai dai 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 dai.
Dai, 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 dai.
Baruchu
Baruch hu
et Adonai
et Adonai
HaMevorach.
HaMevorach.
Baruch Adonai
Baruch Adonai
HaMevorach
HaMevorach
Leolam
Leolam.
Vayed.
We continue together on page 149. This is an hour of change. Within it, we stand uncertain on the border of light. Shall we draw back or cross over? Where shall our hearts turn? Shall we draw back, my brother, my sister, or cross over? This is the hour of change, and within it, we stand quietly on the border of light. What lies before us? Shall we draw back, my brother, my sister, or cross over? Baruch atah Adonai, Hama'ariv Aramim, page 151. As you taught Torah to those whose names I bear, teach me Torah too. Its mystery beckons, yet I struggle with its truth. You meant Torah for me. Did you mean the struggle for me too? Don't let me struggle alone. Help me to understand, to be wise, to listen, to know. Lead me into the mystery. Baruch atah Adonai, Ohev Amo Yisrael.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kevod, Shem Kevod, Malchuto Leolam, Leolam Vaed. And you shall love Adonai your God with all your heart, with all your soul, and with all your might, and all these words which I command you on this day shall be in your heart, shall be in your heart. And you shall teach them diligently unto your children, and you shall speak of them when you sit in your house, when you walk by the way, and when you lie down, and when you rise up, and when you rise up. And you shall bind them for a sign upon your hand, and they shall be a symbol between your eyes, and you shall write them on the doorposts of your house, and upon your gates, upon your gates, and you may remember and do all of my commandments, and be holy unto your God, unto your God, unto your God.
Page 157. Standing on the parted shores of history, we still believe what we were taught before ever we stood at Sinai's foot, that wherever we go, it is eternally Egypt, that there is a better place, a promised land, that the winding way to that promise passes through the wilderness, that there is no way to get from here to there except by joining hands, marching together.
מי כמוך באלים אדוני, מי כמוך נדע בקודש, נורא תהילו, עושה פלא, עושה פלא, מלכותך ראו בניך, בוקע ים לפני משה ומרים, צאלי אנו ואמרו, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד. מי כמוך באלים אדוני, מי כמוך דם הקודש, נורדתי לבוא,
עושה פלא, עושה פלא, עושה פלא. I feel like that has special gravitas this week because before we meet again for Shabbat on a Friday night, it's Passover. Passover starts Wednesday night, so that prayer about marching together and then singing Micha Mocha really kind of, whew. Yeah, now that I'm talking, I'm going to talk a little bit more. This next prayer is one of my favorites. I talk about it a lot when I do song session. But this notion of lying down and being protected and getting some rest, right? This world is mad right now. And maybe it's always mad, and I'm just more aware of it because I'm like reading a lot of news lately. But in the middle of the madness, we have places that we can go for rest. And you're all here doing that, and some of you who couldn't get out are with us online. But we can find rest in each other. And this prayer reminds us that there are safe spaces in the world. We just have to find them. And hopefully this prayer, and when you lie down at night and close your eyes, that feels safe. So we read together on page 160. Grant, O God, that we lie down in peace and raise us up, our guardian, to life renewed. Spread over us the shelter of your peace. Guide us with your good counsel. For your name's sake, be our help. Shield and shelter us beneath the shadow of your wings. Defend us against enemies, illness, war, famine, and sorrow. Distance us from wrongdoing. For you, God, watch over us and deliver us. For you, God, are gracious and merciful. Guard our going and coming to life and peace evermore. Blessed are you, Adonai, guardian of Israel, whose shelter of peace is spread over us, over all your people Israel, and over all Jerusalem.
Baruch atah Adonai haporei sukkot shalom. Shalom aleinu ve'al kol amo Yisrael. Baruch atah Adonai haporei sukkot shalom. Shalom aleinu ve'al kol amo Yisrael. Ve'al Yerushalayim ve'al kol amo. Ve'al Yerushalayim shalom. Baruch atah Adonai haporei sukkot shalom. Shalom aleinu ve'al kol amo. Shalom aleinu ve'al kol amo. Shalom aleinu ve'al kol amo Yisrael. V'shamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat. La'asot et ha-Shabbat ledorotam. Berit olam b'nei uvein b'nei Yisrael oti leolam. Sheshet yamim asa Adonai et hashamayim ve'et haaretz ubayom hashvi'i Shabbat Shabbat vayinafal Shabbat Shabbat vayinafal Shabbat Shabbat vayinafash. Shabbat, Shabbat vayinafash. Adonai, na 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 na, Adonai. Adonai, na 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 na, Sfatai tiftach. Adonai, na 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 na, ufi yagid tehilatecha. Adonai, na 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 na, Adonai. Adonai, na 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 na, Sfatai tiftach. Adonai, na 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 na, ufi yagid tehilatecha. Adonai, na 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 na, Adonai. Adonai, na 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 na, Sfatai tiftach. Adonai, na 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 na, ufi yagid tehilatecha. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu v'Elohei Avotenu v'Imotenu Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, v'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, v'Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor v'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, v'Konei Hakol, v'Zocher Chasdei Avot v'Imaot, U'mevii Gula Livnei V'neihem, L'man Shemo Be'ahava, Melech Ozer U'Moshiach U'Magen, Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham v'Yisrael Tzara. Atah Gibor Le'olam Adonai, Mechayei Metim atah Rav Le'Hoshiach, Mashiach Ruach U'Morid HaGashem, Mechakel Chayim B'Chesed, Mechayei Metim Berachamim Rabim, Somech Noflim Berofei Cholim, Umatir Asurim, Umekayei Emunato Lishenei Afar, Micham Ocham Al Gevurot, Umido Melach, Melech Memit Umechayeh Umatzmiach Yeshua, V'ne'eman atah lechayot metim, Baruch atah Adonai Mechayei hametim. Atah kadosh v'shimcha kadosh, U'kadoshim b'chol yom lecha l'chasela, Baruch atah Adonai Ha'el HaKadosh.
Now we would read together on page 71 if I had it in my book. We're going to read together on page 170. Nope, we're not going to do that. You know what? We're going to sing Ritzeh.
Yes. Okay. Ritzeh Adonai Eloheinu Le'amcha Yisrael. Ritzeh Adonai Eloheinu Le'amcha Tefilatan be'ahava tekabel, Utefilatan תפילתם, באהבה תקבל רצי אדוני אלוהינו, בעמך ישראל. רצי תהי לרצון תמיד עבודת ישראל עמך, ותהי לרצון תמיד עבודת ישראל עמך. Baruch atah Adonai shehotecha levadecha v'yirah
I invite you to continue reading the Amidah silently, using the prayers in the book or the prayers of your heart, and taking your seat when you have completed those prayers and meditations.
יהיו לרצון אמרי פיי והגיון ליבי לפניך Adonai Tzuri, Adonai Tzuri, Begoali,
We think about now those folks among us who are in need of healing, healing of mind and of body and of spirit. For those of you at home, you should see a link to the announcements, which includes the Mishaberach list. It's on the virtual sanctuary. It should also be in Facebook. If you have names that you would like to share, you may type them into the comments. For those of you here in person, we'll go around the room, and if you have anyone's name that you would like to share, I invite you to do so now. Tom Krakow. As you can see, there are many folks who need our prayer of healing right now, and that is just the people that we know the names of. And I would like to invite you, as you say your prayers of healing, to include yourself in that. We're all doing a lot of caretaking right now of everyone around us and the world, and so invite healing into yourself as well. The Misha Berach is on page 371.
Misha Berach Yavoteinu V'kol HaBeracha Source of strength, who bless the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen.
A prayer for those among us suffering addiction and mental health struggles. May the one who blessed our ancestors bring blessings of strength, compassion, and healing to those of us who struggle with the oppression of addiction, emotional distress, and mental suffering. Surround them, surround us with loving kindness, grace, companionship, and peace.
Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say,
It is time that we move from some concerns to some joys. It's time for our Simcha moment. We invite you to share a special Simcha, which is a joy from this past week. It may include birthdays, anniversaries, good news. If you're online, we invite you to type it into the comments. And if you're here in person, please join us on the bima. As you know, you stand near the microphone. You don't touch the microphone. Don't be up here for 5 minutes. We're all hungry.
Okay, I've got a couple, but I'll make it quick.
Just a little bit closer. Just a little bit closer.
A little closer.
There you
Okay, I'm loud enough anyway. But anyway,
Who are you? Who are you?
Two. For those of you who are paying attention, back in the end of January, I lost my job. But a few weeks ago, I got a new one. I accepted a position with a firm in Corporate Woods, so that's a really good thing. And then the second thing is, a week ago, my son and Zach and my daughter-in-law Leah bought their first house. So
That's
very
big.
exciting.
Well, Carol's not here, so I'm going to do 3 things. Number one, I'm grateful that it's been 6 weeks since I had my knee replaced, and you saw me prance up the steps, so I'm grateful for that kind of healing. Number 2 is community blessing. I want everyone here and watching at home to know that Marcia Rittmaster and Leslie Zucker led a Passover Seder for a Tu B'Shvat Seder for almost 200 women at Church of the Resurrection, the largest Methodist church in the United States. And they were fabulous. It probably will be online. I watched it this morning and cried through the whole thing. Anyway, they were fabulous, and I'm very, very proud of them. And the last thing is that during my recovery at Brookdale, Devin, who's on staff there, was kind enough to come to my room on Erev Shabbat and sing some Shabbat songs for me. So thank you, Devin.
I'm Julie Kaplan. My fellowship at the Pardes Institute of Jewish Study has ended, except for, all the work I have to do now.
I have a simcha. My sister-in-law is in town, and we haven't gotten to see her in person in quite some time, and we're very excited for that.
Excellent. Anybody else? Oh, online, yep.
So I'm giving Sheila Spicer.
Sheila Spicer.
She gets 2 tonight.
She gets 2.
She's very grateful to be able to join us without missing a beat, even though she couldn't make the drive-in tonight.
She's very grateful to be joining us, even though she couldn't make the drive-in tonight. And? Has anybody seen Galaxy Quest?
Yeah.
Computer, what is the next simcha?
The love of my life, Pete, celebrated his birthday with my daughter and I yesterday.
Oh, the love of Sheila's life. Pete celebrated his birthday with Sheila and her daughter yesterday. Thank you for sharing that. So the Parsha this week mentions the Ner Tamid, the eternal flame. So I just wanted to share with you, as a moment of blessing, one of our eternal flames. Lily Montague played a key role in making liberal Judaism more than a fringe movement in Great Britain in the early 20th century. She founded and led religious services for women 9 years before founding the Liberal Religious Union in 1902. She helped establish liberal Judaism synagogues across Great Britain, was president of the Liberal Religious Union for over 20 years, and was a founding member of the World Union of Progressive Judaism. And I want to share with you a quote that we have of hers in our own Siddur on page 211 in the brackets, if you want to look it up later. As soon as, in accordance with Jewish teaching, your lives have been touched by aspiration, all your windows are thrown open and the light of infinite hope enters, then the community as a whole demands your help, and you dare not say, "Why bother?" Let us consider well, in the light of religion, what are the things worth bothering about. Perhaps we shall find ourselves bothering about mere trivialities, indulging in fears which have no foundation now and never will have any reality. That would be me. Perhaps we are wasting our opportunities altogether or using them in a futile way. Let us pray for guidance, and as we pray, let us remember that when all the rubbish is pushed to one side, there are many things which we shall have to bother about, which concern us immensely because they concern the well-being of the community as a whole. In spite of our absurd inadequacy, in spite of all of our weaknesses, we can affect by our lives the life of humanity in its progress towards God. I thank all of you who shared your aspirations and your joys and your accomplishments. You shine as eternal lights for all of us. And by showing us what you bother about, you remind us that there are things in life worth bothering about. We now gather all the simchas you have shared as I offer a prayer. Divine source of blessing, we thank you for everything that enriches our lives. We turn to you now with gratitude as we share in the happiness of all those who have marked their special occasions. Adonai be with them now and always. May they be blessed with the strength to overcome sickness and sorrow, and with much health and happiness now and always. As we honor each one of you for the gifts that you bring to our sacred community, we join together in song as we mark this sacred occasion.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam שהחיינו וקיימנו והגיענו לזמן הזה. ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם שהחיינו וקיימנו והגיענו לזמן הזה.
It is my pleasure to let you know that Denton will also be giving the message tonight.
Thank you all for being here. This week's Torah portion, Parshat Tzav, is the second parsha we read in the book of Leviticus. And Leviticus, being notoriously well known for being full of thrilling, gripping narratives and zero controversial passages whatsoever, begins this parsha detailing instructions to Aaron and his sons about navigating the various ritual offerings, what delicious pieces of meat that they can have samplings of, and which ones are absolutely off limits. Following these instructions, Aaron and his sons are anointed and elevated into a priestly class, establishing them, each of them, into a critical and central role within Jewish society moving forward. And in the years ahead, the temple and its priests will become iconic figures in everyday lives of the people living within the land of Israel. This Shabbat is also Shabbat Hagadol, the big one, the Shabbat just prior to the beginning of Passover. With this beautiful holiday approaching, many of us are likely thinking of the many traditions that come from this holiday. Passover seders, eating matzah bray, listening to the absolutely face-melting musical themes found in the absolute classic, The Prince of Egypt. But encompassing this holiday more than anything else is our continued telling and retelling of the story of our redemption from Egypt. For 400 years, our people were slaves in Egypt, and we lived within a power structure and a societal system that demanded that we engage in back-breaking labor from dawn until dusk without hope for a day of rest, let alone a chance to observe a holiday or two that wasn't catered exclusively to the Egyptians. And when we left Egypt, we were by no means without fear or reservation. Before we even crossed the sea, there were those among us who were saying, what, there were no graves in Egypt? So we came all the way out here just to starve to death in the desert. Enslavement was bad, but to risk death in the desert, even worse. Not everybody was really on board with this whole emancipation thing at first, and some people created some very significant challenges for our community as we left Egypt to try and create a new, less oppressive system of governance, system of power. Life outside of the Egyptian system seemed impossible, and for those of us who left Egypt, whose parents' parents grew up under that system, I can imagine that the concept of another life, a better life, seemed like a fantasy. I can imagine that the sentiment was prevalent that this is just the way things are. This is just the way the world works. It has been this way the last 400 years. What alternative could there ever be? But we did make it out. And Parshat Tzav demonstrates that as a community in partnership with the divine, we were able to establish for ourselves a new way to live. With the guidance of the divine, we were able to unlearn previous norms and establish new ones over the course of centuries. Jewish political theorist and scholar Michael Walzer wrote that the Exodus bears no resemblance to those ancient tales of voyages and journeys that, whatever the adventures they include, begin and end at home. Our Exodus takes us someplace new. And our Exodus was not the only time that we found ourselves encountering an entirely new way of living. Aaron and his sons may have been anointed and set apart in this parsha, but centuries later, there would come a time when we would have to imagine a Jewish life without the temple. A life without the temple at one time seemed unthinkable. But together, as a community, we created a vibrant and a diverse and a beautiful Jewish life in diaspora. We have always been a people not only adaptive to change, but often we stood at the forefront leading that charge. Much has changed since the days of Aaron and his sons. We no longer live in a world in which guilt may be measured by an offering of bread or animals or produce. Yet simultaneously, echoes of the oppressive systems of Egypt continue to this day. Every day, millions of workers continue to be exploited by the people that they work for. An estimated $8 billion each year is stolen from workers by corporations violating minimum wage laws. 2/3 of low-wage workers lack access to paid sick days, even throughout the COVID-19 pandemic. A 2019 financial survey encouraging Americans to save more money actually found that 59% of Americans are currently at risk of homelessness, just one paycheck away. Wages for working people in the U.S. have remained relatively stagnant since the 1970s, while productivity has grown 3 times as fast. Less than half of Americans are able to afford a last-minute emergency, like an unexpected car repair or a visit to the emergency room. Perhaps the world we live in now is more like Egypt than we care to admit. Perhaps now more than ever, our weekly reading from the Mishkan Tefillah remains true, that standing on the parted shores of history, we still believe what we were taught before ever we stood at Sinai's foot, that wherever we go, it is eternally Egypt, that there is a better place, a promised land, and that there is no way to get from here to there except by joining hands and marching together. The fight for workers' rights and the freedom from exploitation for ourselves and our coworkers and our communities must be our fight as well. And much like the Exodus, not all solutions to oppressive systems can be solved by remaining where we've been. We must work to bring about something new, a tikkun olam that is lasting and just and true. For us today, if we were to build a world free from the scourge of exploitation and inequality and life-sustaining resources being held behind paywalls, if we were able to build a world free from endless toil and free from constant worry, how might you spend your time? Having truly and fully experienced freedom from the echoes of Egypt. How much more beauty might you bring into this world if the burdens of Pharaoh were taken off of our shoulders? The Sephardic Torah scholar Maimonides wrote about the potential future of a world free from exploitation and hardship, and a time that we sometimes refer to as the Messianic era. And he thought about it for himself and his colleagues. And he, as a sage and a scholar himself, wrote, "The sages and the prophets longed for the days of the Messianic era, not in order to rule over the world, and not to bring the heathen under control, not to be exalted of the nations, or even to eat, drink, and rejoice. All they wanted was to have time for the Torah and its wisdom, with no one to oppress or disturb them. In that age, the whole world," he says, "will be occupied with the knowledge of God, and the children of Israel will be great sages. They will know hidden things and attain an understanding of their Creator to the extent of human capability." To enter that place in time, we must traverse and struggle together. It takes all of us as a community to bring these things about. Complicity with unjust and exploitative systems continues to enable unjust and exploitative outcomes. Looking towards this coming week of Passover, let us work together to identify and dismantle ongoing systems that contribute to inequality and exploitation, like our ancestors did when they chose to leave Egypt, like our ancestors did when they established the Mishkan and the temple, and like our ancestors did when the temple was no more. So we must do today. We must tear down oppressive systems and build for ourselves new and better ones, and be ready for the difficult journey toward the promised land along the way. Can you hear Ratzon?
Thank you, Denton. As my friend Dr. Kaplan says, the ancient rabbis added the Aleinu prayer to remind us that regardless of how difficult things may be in the moment, there are better things to come. If you are able, I invite you to rise for the Aleinu on page 586, and then we move to 591 for Bayom Hahu.
Aleinu leshabeach ladon hakol, lateit gedula lerotzer bereshit, shelo asanu kegoye haratzot, velo samanu kabish mechot ha'adama, shelo sam chelkeinu kahem, Vegor aleinu kechol hamonam, v'anachnu korim umishtachavim umodim lifnei melech malchei hamlachim hakadosh baruch hu.
As our thoughts turn to those who are no longer with us, I invite you to choose a meditation. Our meditations prior to Kaddish begin on page 592. And I invite you to either sit with your thoughts or find one of those meditations that speak to you and read it at this time. We have learned of the passing of Miriam Harris, daughter of Congregation Beth Torah's first congregational president, Cheryl Harris, of blessed memory. And those of our current congregation recently laid to rest in the Shaloshim period, Tanny Shafran, mother of Zach Shafran and Hillary Snow, grandmother of Claire, Cole, and Camille, and great-grandmother of Caden, and Ronald Davison, father of Todd Davison. And on the occasion of their yahrzeits, Harry Belmont, Sophie Boxer, Virginia Esser, Elaine Ray Sherman Evnan, Rose Fishman, Blanche Goldstein, Gladys Marie Grebner, Jerome Jerry Inger, Yetta Kaplan, Eddie Kirschenbaum, Reggie Lloyd, Sophie Lowenstein, Martin Michel, Regina M. Moe, Ron Simons, Rose Skickney, Fred Smith, and Merel Schucher. If there's a name that you need to correct the pronunciation of, or if you are here saying Kaddish for someone whose name I did not mention, I invite you to say those names at this time. Zichronam livracha, may their blessing, their memory be a blessing. If you are able, and it is your custom, I invite you to rise at this time for the mourner's Kaddish. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah, be'alma divrach chirutei ve'amlich malchutei, b'chayechon u'yamechon u'v'chayei l'chol Beit Yisrael, ba'agala v'zman kariv v'imiru, amen. Yehei shemei Rabbah mevarach le'alam u'lamei almaya, yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh, v'yitadar v'yitaler v'yitalal shemei dekudesha b'richu, Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tush b'chata v'nechemata, edamiran b'alma v'imru, amen. Yehei shalama rabba min shemaya, v'chaim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, v'imru, amen. Oseh shalom b'imromav, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, v'imru, amen. You may be seated.
Oseh shalom b'imromav, Yaseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'imru
Oh, thank you. I want to say so much thank you and gratitude to Michelle Cox and Larry Meyer, Howard Pittler, Warren Sickle, and especially to Denton Williams. This was his first Shabbat on the Bima. I think he did all right. Thank you to our Shalom Squad and ushers, Linda Zapula Gensler, Chuck Gensler, and Gloria Pittler. Thank you to those of you who participated in worship honors, Paula Fremerman, Jill Jacob, Denton, and Anise Williams. You want to help me with the announcements?
Our Shabbat celebrations continue tomorrow morning with Sichat Shabbat, our Shabbat conversation in the library. Our topic, Jew versus Jew, racism in Israel. Following Sichat, we'll have Shabbat morning worship back here in the sanctuary. Both are multi-access.
And our adult ed offerings continue in April with Sichat Shabbat every Saturday morning, the Michelangelo Code on April 16th, right here in the sanctuary, our next Beit on April 21st, and Sunday morning Musar on the 30th.
During the months of March and April, we are working with Free Hot Soup to collect warm clothing for the unhoused in Kansas City. Thank you to everyone who has donated, and thank you to everyone who donated to the JFS Passover Food Drive.
On our final slide here, you can see that we have a lot coming up. So the next time one of your friends tells you that there's nothing going on at Beth Torah, just give them a little ear flick from me. You can find more on the flyer table, on our website, on the app, on the kiosk slideshow out in the Ulam. And if you don't like to read or have trouble remembering like I do, you can call the office. We are happy to share with you what's going on. After our closing song, we invite you to join us in the Ulam for Kiddush and Oneg, and our closing song is Oseh Shalom. I invite you to rise and sing with us.
Oseh Shalom b'Roma, Hu ya'aseh Shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'al kol yoshvei tevel, ve'imru
Shabbat Shalom.
Take care of each other out there.